Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Here at Mad About Skin, we're passionate about helping you to get the most out of your skincare. So if you haven't already, now's a fantastic time to click that link below, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and you won't miss out on any of our amazing future content. Now, in today's video, summer is round the corner. Well, here in the Northern Hemisphere at least. The UK, we're finally emerging from our quarantine, our lockdown. The sun is shining, there's a heat wave on the way, apparently, though I'll believe that when I see it. And so now is a great time to invest in some sun care. So today's video, we are looking at my 5 best picks for drugstore affordable SPFs. Sunscreens on a budget, but which deliver the results that we all crave. I've done a similar video to this previously, which I will link up there, but since I filmed that, you guys have recommended me so many different products which I've tried and loved. I've been sent some fantastic PR products from companies which I've fallen in love with. And also I've just been looking and researching different technologies. And with sunscreens and SPFs, the technology is changing all the time. So it's really good to keep these sort of videos up to date. So this is very much like the rematch, the remake, the part 2 of that original video. Check that out because I did rewatch that to check I was still happy with the recommendations in that video. And actually there's some amazing SPFs in there. So check that video out and kind of use this as like this 2-part series when you're working out which is the best SPF for you. As with all the other drugstore videos I've done on this channel, I'm going to be breaking it down by skin type because obviously not all products are suitable for all skin types. So I'm going to break it down by skin type so you can work out which is the best for you. When I talk of drugstore, I'm really meaning $20 or less. Now I know there's some discussion around what is drugstore, what price point is accessible for most people, but to me that's around $20, £15 to £18 here in the UK. That to me represents drugstore affordable and value. So obviously if you think that definition is a little bit off, leave me a comment below and we can look at changing it for future videos. But for me, that's what I mean when I'm talking drugstore in this video. I would love, this is just 5, this is a very select edit of my current favourites, but I'd love to know what your go-to SPFs are, so leave me some comments below, because I got so many recommendations in the last video, and I've tried out so many products, and I am a SPF sunscreen whore. I just love trying new sunscreens, collecting new ones. It's an integral part of our daily skincare routine, whatever the weather, and I just love to try new things and new technology, so leave me your recommendations. Now, enough waffle, we're getting straight into this. And I'm going to start with what I think is the best SPF at the drugstore at the moment. A lot of these videos that you see on YouTube tease you, so you have to watch to the end to get the actual best product stuff. I'm over that. We don't have time for that. We're going to start with the best product out there. And this is suitable for everybody. This is an all skin type, affordable, basic but fantastic sunscreen, and this is the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Dry Touch SPF. It's an SPF 100 in the US, 50 here in the UK. There are some discrepancies. It's exactly the same formula, but here in the UK and the wider European Union, you're not able to advertise SPF above 50. There's a number of reasons for that, why they took that decision, and actually over in the States, the FDA are looking at enforcing a similar restriction or looking at how that might work out. So whilst it's 100 in the US and it's 50 here in the UK, they're basically the same product and the same formulation, it's just marketed slightly differently. This comes in at $9, £7.50. That is drugstore through and through, and it is a beautiful facial SPF. I fell in love with this the first time I used it. For me, it's quite difficult to find SPFs I like because I've got quite greasy, acneic and skin that's prone to blockages and clogging, and so it's quite difficult to find the right SPF for me. This is sensational. For me, you shouldn't be able to feel that you're wearing an SPF. You don't want it to be heavy, you don't want it to be greasy, and you just want it to keep you matte all day, and this product delivers that. I absolutely love it. It's non-comedogenic, which means it's not going to clog the pores or create further breakouts, which for someone oily like myself is crucial. It may be slightly drying for the driest skin types, but for everybody else, this is a fantastic, basic $9 SPF. I fell in love with it and I continue to use it. I think I first started using this product when I was about 19, and you know, I've had it on and off in my skincare routine since then. Absolutely gorgeous. It is a chemical sunscreen. I've done a video on chemical versus mineral sunscreen. It really just comes down to personal preference. I will link that up there so you can check that out if you want to. Obviously, some of these products, most sunscreens contain fragrance. This is one that does. If that's something that bothers you, I have some fragrance-free options which are coming on later in the video, so we can talk a bit about them. I personally don't mind fragrance in sun care. I think it does add a little bit of a sensorial experience to it, but that again comes down to personal preference. So we've got some fragrance-free options later in the video. If you want to work out whether you want mineral or chemical sunscreen, watch that video and then you can pick the right one for you. So that is the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Dry Touch SPF. Start on a high. Beautiful, beautiful product. Now, I'm going to go through different skin types as we go on. Now, that one was applicable to everyone. And now I'm going to start with, I guess, something which can be quite difficult to find when it comes to SPF. And that is an SPF which is suitable for darker skin tones. Now, all of these SPFs are suitable for darker skin tones. Darker skin doesn't necessarily have anything different to lighter skin types when it comes to the actual formulations you need. However, we all know if something looks white cast and ashy on my skin tone, it's going to look hella ashy on somebody that's much darker than me. And it can be really difficult to find a SPF and a sunscreen which actually is invisible on darker skin tones. So we're talking right the way through from the olive skin, right the way through the darkest of darkest skin tones. It can be really difficult to find a product which doesn't appear ashy, that gives you that white cast, which is really noticeable. And actually, if you're wearing an SPF to go to the office or on the beach, maybe it's less of a concern, but if you're trying to go to the office and just daily life, you don't want to come across and having that ashy complexion. I reviewed a product on this channel which I fell in love with, and it claims to be suitable for all skin types. Doesn't matter from the very fairest through to the darkest, it won't appear ashy or visible on anyone's skin tone. I thought, this is too good to be true. It was invisible on mine, and that's fine, but obviously I do not come into the barrier of the banner of a darker skin tone. I am like Casper the Ghost, particularly during the winter. So I did ask for it to be tested on a few of my darker skinned friends who came back and said absolutely it was invisible, no ashiness, no trace of it, which is fantastic. I've seen some reviews from you guys that commented on how invisible it really was, even on more olive and darker skin tones, which is absolutely fantastic. And that is the Supergroup Unseen sunscreen. I fell in love with this sunscreen. I thought this is fantastic. It's £15 here in the UK, $20, so just in that drugstore pricing. You don't get a lot of product, but actually it's reasonably concentrated, so you don't need to apply a huge amount to the skin. It is fragrance free, so we talked about the whole fragrance thing. If you want a fragrance free option, this is a fantastic fragrance free option for you. It is a chemical sunscreen, so again, we'll come on to some minerals ones later in the recommendations. So this is chemical. A number of people have issues with chemical sunscreens, particularly using them at the beach, because they can leach into the water and have an impact on coral reefs. This one, however, is tested and is totally reef safe. So it's not mineral, it's still chemical, but if you're worried about the impact of chemical sunscreens on our water sources and on our coral reefs, this one is a perfect option for you. I absolutely loved it. It's great for sensitive skin because it's unfragranced and it has quite a few of the nasties taken out. Absolutely gorgeous, and it's truly, truly invisible. If you haven't got your hands on this and tried it yet, promise me you will, particularly if you have a slightly darker skin tone, because this will be beautiful for you. Zero ashiness, no white cast, godsend for anybody that is slightly darker than me. I love this product and I would definitely be recommending it. Now we're going to people who have sensitive skin. So it can be really difficult to find a sunscreen which works with sensitive skin. A lot of the chemicals in chemical sunscreens can be quite irritating to the skin. They often have fragrance because the chemicals which we use in sunscreen don't smell particularly nice, so they mask that with fragrance, which can be irritating to people with sensitive skin. So it can be quite difficult if you're sensitive to find the right SPF. Do not fear, I have a fantastic option for you at drugstore pricing. So coming in at $10, £9.50, so actually the exchange rate really doesn't work in this one. So £9.50 in the UK, $10 in the US is the Vino Positively Mineral SPF. This is the first mineral SPF on the list and I love it. I think people with sensitive skin probably find a mineral SPF to be less irritating on their skin than a chemical one. That's just because they tend to have less irritation associated with the ingredients which are used. But again, that does come down to personal preference and your own experiences. I would always patch test if you are sensitive behind the ear, wait 24 hours. If there's no reaction, then continue to use the product. But this is fantastic. So it's hypoallergenic, it's paraben free, and it's just a wonderful SPF, mineral SPF for anybody that's looking for a sensitive skin friendly option. It's non-comedogenic as well, because often we can be sensitive and oily. You can be sensitive and breakout prone. I think often people think that sensitive skin is something which only dry skinned people have, but absolutely not. So this is suitable for the dry skinned and the oily skin, if you're sensitive, this could be your summer savior. So definitely check it out. And the price point is amazing as well. I think Aveeno have really cornered the market in that gentle skincare, well tested, hypoallergenic and suitable for sensitive skin types kind of market, and this is no exception. This is a beautiful product. Now on to a real drugstore favourite. You guys love this brand. You are constantly asking me to review this brand, and I will. I have got a review coming up, but it's just taking a little bit of time to test the products amongst all the other products that I'm testing at the moment. And this is the Cetaphil Pro Oil Absorbing Moisturizer. This is the go-to option for people like me with oily, acneic and breakout prone skin. If I put an SPF on, you can guarantee by about midday I'm a grease slick. You can start seeing the shininess of the T-zone. If you wear any foundation or makeup or concealer, it just starts to break up and fall off, and you look quite sweaty, but actually it's just the excess sebum in the skin. It's not a great look. Nobody covets that look, and it's me by about 1 p.m. So having an oil absorbing SPF is fantastic. This not only protects you against the harmful rays of the sun, but it'll help keep you matte all day. If I put this on in the morning around say 8 o'clock, it will keep me matte right the way through to about 5 p.m. in the afternoon. That is really good for an oil controlling product. Obviously we'd love one that keeps us matte 24 hours a day. It's not going to work, and very few products can do that. But for the fact that this will keep you matte throughout the work day, which means you're probably only greasy on the commute home, I think is actually fantastic. And this is one of my go-to SPFs. I absolutely love it. It is matte, it's non-greasy, it's non-comedogenic, so it's that ding for anyone with oily, acneic or breakout prone skin. It's fragrance free, so for those of you that are looking for a fragrance free alternative, this is a really good option. And it's got zinc and panthenol in. Zinc is amazing at helping regulate the oil production in the skin, and panthenol is really good to calm and soothe irritation, which often if you're having an active breakout, it can be quite red and irritated. This will help soothe that, calm that, and just help keep that irritation in check, which is absolutely fantastic. $9, who can argue with that? Cetaphil is a little bit more expensive in the UK than in the US, so the UK pricing is £12, so it's a little bit more expensive even when you take into account the exchange rate, but still a gorgeous product and one you should definitely try out. I wouldn't recommend this for anybody other than those with oily, combination or breakout prone skin, because I think the ingredients will be too mattifying and will sit in any dry skin that you have and look a little bit cakey. But for people like me, oily skin, this is a bang on amazing SPF and I fully recommend it. Now for my final recommendation, and I think that one was a chemical SPF, by the way, and now we're going on to a mineral. We're ending on a mineral SPF. I kind of, obviously with 5 you can't do half and half, but we've got 2 mineral, 3 chemical, so a good spread here. This is probably a brand you've never heard of, and you need to check this out and you need to look it up, because the Blue Lizard Sensitive Mineral Sunscreen is, this was a product that was sent to me and I fell in love with it. I think it's a fantastic mineral SPF, non-comedogenic, so it's suitable for a lot of skin types. I would say this is probably suitable for all skin types, bar maybe the most sensitive that might want to go for something like the Aveeno instead. But this is a beautiful product which goes on, there's no irritation, it spreads really easily, it just is really nice to use. It's SPF 30, it's water resistant, which is fantastic, especially if you're on the beach, you're in and out of the pool, you're in and out of the sea. It's absolutely fantastic. There is a little bit of white cast on this, so I would caution. I think if you have a darker skin type, this may be not the one for you. I'd stick to the Supergoop, because this is slightly on the ashy side for people that are a little bit darker than myself. But again, it's fine on me, but I think for darker skin types might have a little bit of an issue with this one. What I love about this is the cap turns blue when it's exposed to harmful levels of UV light. So if the cap is white, you are good to go. The UV levels are fine. If it goes blue, you know to take shelter, and actually you shouldn't be sat out basking in the sun. So this is really good if you've got kids and you take them to the beach, to the pool, and you just want that added check to know how strong the UV is, because often we burn because the UV is a lot stronger than we actually realise. It might be a bit cloudy and you think, oh, that's fine, but then we burn because the UV is more much stronger than we thought it was going to be. So that's just a nice bit of innovative technology, and I think sunscreens can get a little bit boring, so I love to see these new innovations. Now, a lot of you have asked me about a brand called Skinnies, which you might have seen advertised on YouTube. They're doing quite a bit of YouTube promotion at the moment. This isn't on the list because they reached out to me and said, I'd love to send you some product to try. And I said, absolutely, I'm all in favour of trying, especially sunscreens, which I have a soft spot for. So I'm waiting for that to arrive, and I'm going to do a separate review on that. For those of you that might ask about that because you've seen the advert, is it any good? I think the technology is so different in that it deserves its entire single review, which I'm going to do probably in a couple of weeks when I've had a chance to look at it, try it, and see if it works for my skin type. So wait for that. That's why it's not been included in this list, because who knows? I'm hoping it's going to be as fantastic as they say it is. Let's wait and see. So there you go, guys. You have 5 gorgeous, amazing, drugstore priced SPFs and sunscreens. I don't think you should be paying too much for sunscreen. There are so many affordable ones, which this has demonstrated, and I don't want people to feel they scrimp on the amount that they use because of the price that they paid for it. I see so many people buying expensive SPFs and using the tiniest amount to eke it out as long as possible. So bad for your skin. You are better buying a cheap drugstore one and slather it on the skin, because your skin needs that protection, especially in the summer when the sun is at its strongest. So don't scrimp on the sunscreen, and if you can't afford an expensive one, don't worry about it. Check out the ones in the other video I did on this and work out the one that's right for you. Buy it and then enjoy your summer. Wherever you are in the world, guys, whether you're northern hemisphere and looking forward to that summer sunshine, or your southern hemisphere and you're going into winter, wherever in the world you are, I'm sending you lots of love and hugs from here in the UK, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.